Why?
Why is the question everyone wants to know,
Right?
Because I think this was a deal a lot of people, especially fans, did not want to see happen. And of course, this is a deal the organization necessarily didn't want to make, but it had to happen for a couple of reasons. The first being money, of course, right? By moving Juan Soto and Trent Grisham, the Padres cleared up over $38 million in cap room. That was one big part. The other thing was this was an incredibly depleted pitching staff. You got to remember, Blake Snell walked out the door. Seth Lugo walked out the door. Michael Walker walked out the door. Josh Hader walked out. The list goes on and on and on. They lost tons of pitching. In this return, they got a lot back. This was a pretty good deal. So some of the prospects they got was a guy named Michael King. He's considered to be the key piece in this deal. He's a 28-year-old with a 2.75 ERA for New York and a little over 104 innings. He was the piece that the Padres really had their eyes set on. But then there was depth. 23-year-old Drew Thorpe. He's the Yankees' #5 prospect. He's also a top 100 prospect in all of baseball. 25-year-old Randy Vasquez was New York's 13th ranked prospect, and Johnny Brito. Now the thing about all those pitchers, they are young, they are cheap, and they are controllable. Now the other thing, Marcella and Carlo, that the Padres did was they added depth to a much needed position. Also, that would be catcher. Of course, they only have Luis Campusano. Well, they got a guy named Kyle Higashioka, who's a proven backup catcher and a really good one at that, coming over from New York. So I know people did not want to see Juan Soto leave the Padres. I know people would love to have seen that team stick together for a long, long time. But one, this marriage made too much sense with the Yankees. The Yankees had the money, they had the pitching they could send over, and the Padres were not going to be able to re-sign Juan Soto without doing something drastic like trading Fernando Tatis Jr. or Jake Cronenworth or multiple people like that. Earlier today, I caught up with Padres beat writer from the San Diego Union Tribune, Kevin Acee, and he put a perspective on the situation.
The return that he got, it was pretty good. There's no getting around that you just gave up a future Hall of Famer who's highly motivated in the final year of team control and is in the prime of his career. You can't get around that. It was a salary dump. But, you did the best you could. But they need a few of these guys to reach their ceiling to make this trade grade out for them. It's impossible to grade now. Anything that you say is a grade now is it's just clickbait because it's impossible to grade this. But in order to get value for Juan Soto, they need a couple of these guys to be as good as they can be.
And of course, Kevin's right there. They need a couple of those guys to be really good when they come over to make that deal worth it. And Michael King especially, he's going to be their #3 starter. The other thing that people might be forgetting is the guys coming over were only about $8 million in salary. That gives the Padres $30 million to play with. Still.
Yeah. And so we don't know how much of that they'll spend, if any, really. We don't know, but it seems likely they will. So what's next? Where do they spend that money? Because we know we answered some questions with pitching desperately needed, but now they got a couple holes in the outfield.
Correct. You lost 2 starting outfielders, right? Trent Grisham and Juan Soto. But there's a guy in Korea that they've been eyeballing a lot named Jung-Hoo Lee, who they want to try and bring over from the KBO. He would cost them, a decent amount of money, but not Juan Soto money. And then they could go get a bullpen piece. They could get another outfielder. They could get another starting pitcher. They have a lot of options, which is what this team was missing if they kept Juan Soto.
Yeah, the first step in what they needed to do to make some changes to have a little bit different looking team next season.
And now they have some leverage and some money to play with.
It hurts, but it was the right move.
Yes, we're sorry to see him go.
Truth hurts sometimes, but hey, it doesn't. People, don't be panicking. It's still going to be a really good team. Maybe even a lot better. We don't know.
Yeah.
Play the games.
A little young energy.
Thanks, Jake.
We'll see. Thanks.